All right, hello everyone. Last video of the series. Um, I'm going to introduce the tab object as a way of storing a collection of messages, collection of symbols that you can select and send. So rewind. I've been changing values. By clicking on the messages, and those are being sent. There's an object that makes this a little more useful because I can't see after I click what I've clicked on. There's no status change. So there's an object that I'm going to use called tab, T-A-B. Tab is basically a collection of symbols. Unlock the patch, and whichever one you've selected will highlight. If I select the tab, I'm going to put a comment over here to remind everybody that's the tab object. I can rearrange how it displays just by how I drag it. I'm going to go into a little vertical setup. And I want to recreate these messages that I put in here into the tab. So I have 4, and they're in a different format. So go to the inspector with the tab selected, and then come down. If you do all, come down into value, and then it'll say tab items, and there's an edit button. It shows you the list of items, and there's an edit button. Click on the edit, and you can replace the items. Just add spaces between things that you want to appear in different buttons. So 4N space 8N space 8NT space 16N, and say OK. And now you can see the tab is updated. I have 4 choices, and they're filled with the messages up here. Okay. Come down and make my same comment. And I can bring note values, the send note values down here. You'll see I have 3 outlets. The first one sends the item index, so this is keeping count of what location I chose, starting at 0, 1, 2, 3. And that is just integer output. This middle one is the actual symbol stored in that item location. And that's what I want. That's the same as typing or clicking on one of these messages. So now lock the patch, start. That's where I'm at, so I'm going to update. Stop my transport, rewind. So very simple because it's all right here and it gives me visual feedback. So replacing this, I'll leave it in here. Didn't quite get that selected. So you can see these things do the same thing. So put over. One thing that can help to make an initial value as a starting point is that I can send an index. It has an inlet. And those messages in, depends what you want to go in. I am going to send in a 1. So if I type that in, it will select item 1 in the index. This is item 0, 1, 2, 3. So I can click it again. Now it switches to 8N. So that can be useful because I can automate. I can link tabs together so that if I choose item 1 in one tab, it'll choose item 1 in another. I can also do an initialization. So say I ended on quarter notes. I can use a load mess object. Load mess, and the message I want to send. I'm going to save my patch, close it, reopen. Now you can see that the 8 in is selected automatically. So when I start, go over here. When I start the transport, also if I double click on the load mess object in a lock patcher, it'll send it out. So that switches it. So that's just a little way of storing these messages. It's a little neater. There's just one output going to the send object. I can automate in and out what's going on by location of item chosen, or send out what's in the message as a symbol. So that's that.